Hey guys, how are you? I'm good. So today I'm going to do a review on my Gucci Marmont bag in the super mini size and matelassé leather. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I feel about the bag 10 months later, the quality, the size, and who this bag is for. So if you are interested about this bag or thinking about buying it, keep watching. So first, let's talk about the quality of the bag. The bag is made out of the chevron matelassé leather, which refers to the zigzag stitching that you see here. And the bag is quite soft, and I like that it's squishy because it is more flexible in how I'm able to fit stuff in it compared to a more structured or rigid bag. Despite that, however, the bag has hold onto its structure quite well. There is a very slight sagging on the bottom. There is dimpling happening on the sides of the bag. And where I open the bag, because it's a flat bag, there is some wrinkling that is starting to form on the back of it, as well as on the inside. However, overall, I would say that the quality is quite good, given it's been 10 months and looks still pretty new. So we also have to talk about the heart shape in the back of the bag. It is quite divisive. Some people like it, some people don't like it. For me, after 10 months, I would say I don't mind it. There are certainly days where I wish it wasn't there. I wish it was omitted altogether or it was replaced with the GG logo that some of the bags have. And other days, I think that this is just Gucci being its quirky self, and it's cute and charming and romantic. But because it is in the back of the bag, I don't really see it, and therefore I don't really think about it, and so I don't have an opinion in it. Next, let's talk about the hardware, which is the GG logo face in the front, as well as the chain strap that comes with it, which is removable. As you can see, it is a brass gold tone hardware, and I think that Gucci was going for a more vintage look, so it looks aged. And I personally like this because it's a lot less ostentatious looking than most designer bags, and therefore it is more approachable and more versatile as to how and where I could wear this. In terms of wear, it's hard to say because it doesn't have a uniform finish because of its intended look. So I can't be like, it doesn't have a uniform finish. So when I inspect it, there are maybe two parts where the brass gold finish has come off and some silver metal is peeking through. However, this is such a forgiving design that it almost adds character to the bag, and in that sense, it's actually gets better with age. So next, I want to talk about two features that you should be mindful of if you are considering getting this. First are the two space gaps on the side of the bags. They are really quite small, but things could potentially fall out of there. So for me, I carry coins and my key without my keychain, and those could potentially fall out of here. It could really range from something really not valuable like candy to like maybe like jewelry coming out of here. So do be mindful of that. I don't think it's much of an issue, but it's worthwhile mentioning. The other feature I want to bring attention to is the closure, which is a snap closure. So when you are going back to close this bag, you have to align it to the hole just right to close it, which is particularly difficult when the bag is not full. It does two things that I don't like, is that when you're looking around, you're potentially damaging the leather around the closure, as well as I am actually, you can't see it, but I'm squishing the back of the bag to push it. And so I'm potentially warping the shape of the bag, which again, I don't care to do. And I would have preferred that this was a magnetic closure instead. On that note, let's go into the interior. So you can imagine, there's not a lot going on in here. Just like me. It has a microfiber lining that feels like suede. It's quite soft. And I want to say the color is a peachy beige. And it has a black leather patch here, which says Gucci, made in Italy. And here are the chain strap that's removable. It has this T-link that you just pull. It's a little hard to pull it, but you pull that and you align it through the hole. And you just pull through it, and you can turn this bag into a little clutch. I've personally never seen anybody do this. I've never done this, but you can if you'd like. Going back into the inside of the bag and looking at the lining, it is actually, you can turn it inside out so it's easier to clean, but also easier to look at. As you can see, it is dirty. Again, I've had it for 10 months, so this is just to be expected. This is perhaps, as you can see over here, this is closer to its original color than that. I don't know if you can see that. I do wish that perhaps they could have used a darker lining. I do know there are people who prefer a lighter lining so they can easily find things in their bag. But you guys, this bag is so small. There's not much place to look around. Or perhaps they could have used a leather lining as well and it be altogether be resistant to dirt. An unfortunate thing that did happen to me is that I lost the attachment on this thing over here. It was a little like latch where you can connect keychains to it, or you can turn this into a like a fanny pack situation, and it was removable just like the chain strap, and it fell off, and because of the holes here, I don't know what happened. I guess it just fell out and I don't know where it went. I never used it, but obviously if you spend a lot of money on something, you know, you would like to keep all its parts. Finally, let's talk about the size. This bag is called a super mini for a reason. It is 6.5 inches wide, 2 inches deep, and only 4 inches tall. It is very small for a lot of people, and I totally get that. I definitely think too that the tiny bags are a controversial trend for that reason. It is a very good example of something fashionable and whether or not it has practical applications and something that translates in the real world. And I do think too that you have to use a bag like a bag. And if you can't, don't use or get that bag. The size of this bag can be very extreme where fashion is compromising way too much on function. However, I do think that function is subjective and different styles of bags serve different purposes. And in that sense, tiny bags do serve a purpose and therefore warrants their existence. I like to think that tiny bags are an exercise in minimalism, and that is something most of us can benefit from. Like if you carry a bag, you know that we just carry way too much for what ifs that never happen. And to me, I used to wear tote bags for that reason. And tiny bags just have made me more considerate of what I bring with me. And I think that's a good thing. And I think that, yes, tiny bags and minimalism is more about what you need. And that is exactly why I use them. So to me, I do use this bag quite a lot, primarily for light casual days. So I use it to go to the mall, to hang out with my friends for dinner, for parties, to a function. If you do those things, this bag will serve you just fine. So now let's do something fun. Let's see what's in my bag. So basically, these would be the things I would bring with me if I was having one of those light casual days that I had mentioned. So I would bring my Presto and my debit card, some coin, my house key, a lip balm, some cash, and that's it. As you can see, that comfortably fits everything, and this is all I would need if I was going to the movies, going to see my friend, dinner, a function. That's it. And for posterity, you can fit your phone in here. I just carry mine in my hand. So this is, the 6S Plus, and this is the same dimensions as the Pro Max or the 10S Max if you have those phones. And it's the biggest iPhones, as you know, and they will fit just comfortably in there with some space left. Also, side note, when I watch these, what's in my bag or what can fit in my bag and they fill it to the brim, that's not realistic, you guys. In reality, you need some frigging space for allowance to put stuff and be able to look for stuff in your bag. Like for example, I wear glasses typically, and sometimes I take them off, and if this was in here, there's no space for my glasses. Or if you buy stuff, there's no space for me to put stuff in here. So don't trust those. For concluding thoughts, I want to answer, who is this bag for? If you love Gucci and you understand the purpose of tiny bags and you can afford the 1,065 Canadian dollar price tag, then get it. The quality is there, it holds by itself, and that price tag is actually on the lower end of the luxury market for bags. However, if you are just buying this for the hype of Gucci and the trend of tiny bags. That's really your call of how much you value those things and if you're willing to pay a premium on that. If you love Gucci and want something from it, get the thing you actually want. Please do not get this because it's one of their least expensive bags. If you want to try out a tiny bag, they are now available in all price points. So you don't have to buy this one. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are deciding to get this bag, I hope this helped with your decision. And let me know if you end up getting it or not. Otherwise, ain't no party like a Jr's party.